Nibiru Hercolubus Planet X, the greatest mystery of the modern era. The final shift fast approaches, according to claims. We live in a time when common sense has become quite rare, and likewise the voice of reason has fled humankind, and for these reasons the following will be quite difficult for many to understand or believe or imbibe. If you were running the world during these tumultuous times and you knew that events were on the horizon which would forever after alter the entire planetary civilization, would you use the global mainstream media to tell everyone? If those earth-shattering events were as unstoppable as they are fateful, would you disseminate the information? If your answer is yes, what will the 7 or 8+ billion people who reside on planet Earth do the next day? That is, after you tell them that their world is about to come to an end. Will they still go to work? Will they continue to support society? Will many of them even want to get out of bed again after they hear what is coming? And herein lies the challenge that's faced by the World Shadow Government, WSG. Bear in mind that they could know what's around the corner. And their strategy could be located observatories and high-power telescopes give them access to scientific data and astronomical phenomena, which is so compelling that they feel they have no alternative to distract and to deceive and to divert the attention of people. And remember, there is one thing more than anything else, which is WSG fears, that is uncontrolled chaos. They know that real mayhem in the streets will not treat them well. Therefore, spontaneous social pandemonium is their greatest worry. Unpredictable political paroxysms strike fear into their hearts, and uncontrollable financial volatility will only serve to shatter their matrix. So with this understanding, one can better comprehend the many unreasonable and irrational, mindless and crazy, insane actions taken by certain politicians. Yes, they may have plan A, B, and C, but there are many emerging eventualities over which they have far less influence than what they're used to. Their bunkers, buried deep underground, may not be in the protected areas once they thought, nor are they off-planet rendezvous sites as safe from solar system calamities as they once believed. Of course, their experiments with time travel, interstellar travel, wormholes, parallel universes, blank slate technology, and invisibility cloaking have already perhaps been disastrous. So Hercolubus is coming. This is what Carlos Muñoz Ferrada claims. We're not suggesting that all the scientific predictions of Carlos Muñoz Ferrada are entirely accurate. Prophecies of this nature are rarely perfect, but what this highly intuitive, gifted astronomer and seismologist has told us cannot be ignored. Carlos Muñoz Ferrada predicted with extraordinary accuracy numerous earthquakes in South America during the last century. He did this by making direct correlations between specific astronomical phenomena and various catastrophic earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. His most significant prediction regards the future arrival of a great comet planet. And for those who did not see his video, Ferrada calls it a comet planet because it's the size of a planet and the speed and elliptical orbit of a comet. Whether you believe it or not, what he portrays, what matters is that there have been numerous prognostications of this nature over millennia, which simply cannot no longer be ignored in the face of such pervasive, compelling evidence. What kind of evidence? It's important to point out that Latin America has produced other gifted visionaries, just like Carlos Muñoz Ferrada. And here are 3 of those individuals who have independently referred to the future happenings delineated by Carlos Ferrada. 1, V.M. Rabulo, 1926 to 2000, was born in Tolima, Colombia. In 1998, he wrote Hercolubus, the Red Planet, based on his direct and conscious experience V.M. Rabulo described the terrible events that will happen when our planet in the short term and explains that the path that the human beings can follow in order to achieve a deep transformation. Hercolubus, a planet, Nibiru, or we know Nibiru, wormwood nemesis, so called by the sages of antiquity, is approaching our solar system and is the cause of great concern for those who know about such cosmic phenomena. In our former encounter, Hercolubus put an end to the Atlantean civilization. These facts are duly related through all the universal floods of different religions and cultures. The consequence of the very close proximity of Hercolubus will be upheaval in all corners of our planet. Hercolubus, or Red Planet, by V.M. Rabolo, Diana's Pub, October 1st, 2002. And then we have Benjamin Solari Paravicini, 1898 to 1974. He was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, August 8. Benjamin Solari Paravicini, the great Argentinian prophet who was nicknamed the South American Nostradamus, wrote some decades ago, "The hour of hours will arrive, and in its darkness the crash of the big planet will be received. The earth will be reversed, everything will fall." Number 3 is Samuel Owen Ware, 1917 to 1977, was born as Victor Manuel Gomez Rodriguez in Bogota, Colombia. Samuel Owen Ware, the greatest Gnostic master who gave numerous lectures in Mexico during the 70s, he talked about Hercolubus and explained that in the times of the end it would approach the earth. Due to its great electromagnetic power, he said it would destabilize Earth's crust, causing huge earthquakes, tidal waves, volcanic eruptions, and natural disasters. Hercolubus would have approached our solar system in former occasions to unleash cataclysms that wiped out the Lemurian and Atlantean civilizations. And now he said it would come again to end our civilization and allow a new era to begin. This is according to the final prophecy by the Alcyon Association. The Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope is part of Mount Graham International Observatory, situated in Mount Graham, southeast Arizona, and it's operated by the Vatican Observatory, one of the oldest astronomical research institutes in the world. Why else do you think the Vatican owns an observatory outside of Safford, Arizona? Not only does the Vatican operate the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope at Mount Graham, they share the same facility with the Large Binocular Telescope Observatory. Construction of MGIO began in 1989. MGIO currently operates and maintains facilities for 3 scientific organizations. The first 2 telescopes, the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope and the Heinrich Hertz Sub-Millimeter Telescope, began operating in 1993. The Large Binocular Telescope, one of the world's largest and most powerful telescopes, began operations using mirrors independently in 2004, which joint operations between the 2 mirrors began in 2008. The Vatican Secret Archives probably have more volumes of original documents in the form of scriptural treatises as well as historical records produced by the ancients than any other library on earth. The Roman Catholic Church is further informed about the future of humanity from the numerous Marian apparitions which have occurred around the world over the past 200 years. It's all a well-known fact that certain circles, for example, Curia and Magisterium, that many of the prophecies which were given to mostly children have never been released by the church hierarchy because of their dire content. Why might this be the case? Because those controllers of information know that such doses of reality are simply too much for the masses to hear. Of course, they have deliberately leaked this and that information over many decades so that those who have ears to hear will receive the messages that they're meant to. Now, the Vatican is also aware of the St. Malachi prophecy regarding the last 10 popes, as well as those similar revelations given in various Marian apparitions by these and other accounts such as Nostradamus. The current Pope, Francis I, will be the final Roman pontiff in the tradition of the Catholic Church of Rome. One of those prognostications presents the actual context of when the current Pope would be forced to, quote, flee Rome in December when the great comet is seen in the daytime. Medjugorje is just one of the latest and most famous series of Marian prophecies, which clearly indicates that huge changes are coming to planet Earth, quote unquote. Whenever these predictions veer into Earth change territory, they always speak of massive, unprecedented cataclysmic events overtaking the entire planetary realm. No location is spared, except those which are preordained as safe havens for the protected portion of humanity that's to be safeguarded. The Marian apparitions at Garambandal also imparted prophecy, which used similar language about a warning to all of humanity, as well as a chastisement which would humble every human being. So have many other lesser known appearances of the Blessed Virgin Mary, such as those known as the Bayside prophecies. Even the third secret of Fatima is said to concern the end times, which is why it was never officially released by the Vatican. The primary agent of such massive global change is usually referred to as a shift, specifically an axis pole shift, where the Earth actually shifts in a way its axis by a number of degrees. In her book, Mary's Message to the World, Annie Kirkwood makes it clear that Mary speaks about the turning of the Earth. An axis pole shift is the only planet-wide geophysical event which can generate so many predicted changes. The historical record, both geological and archaeological, is replete with hard evidence of periodic planetary catastrophism. Our blue orb has in fact experienced global landmass rearrangements at the closing of eras and conclusions of epochs since the beginning of time, and as we approach the current denouement of the Kali Yuga, the age of conflict, also known as the Iron Age, it's certain that Mother Earth will once again turn on her axis. So that the old lands can be rejuvenated and refreshed, this is but a necessity, so that the new lands can emerge and sustain the new race of humanity is likewise an essential byproduct of axial pole shifts. Now, barring the invisible form of Deus ex machina to produce such an outcome, only a celestial intruder of great order would possess the all right stuff to cause the Earth to literally roll over and stay there as the new normal. Hence, we see more weight than ever afforded to the various schools of thought which promote a Planet X Nibiru, Wormwood, Hercolubus, 10th Planet, Red Planet, Destroyer, Nemesis, Marduk, Tiki, Red Star Kachina hypothesis. All of these names have been preferred as candidates for the heavenly body, which may be responsible for both past and future catastrophism on Earth. That's not to say that there are not other diverse possibilities when considering various apocalyptic scenarios which the planet has been proven to undergo. However, asteroids and large meteors, gamma bursts, and supernovas each have their obvious deficiencies when trying to explain an event like a pole shift. Of all the theories which abound, there are many in the internet. The narrative surrounding Hercolubus, that is Nibiru Planet X, is to be the most plausible. It also appears to be the one which forms a basis for all the others. Even the Nibiru story and their Anunnaki travelers seem to have originated from the Hercolubus version of earth-shaking events. It's true the Sun has long been going through some major changes over the past decades. We wonder if this new location in the galaxy vis-a-vis the galactic center is enough to bring about such a profound fundamental transformation. We also wonder if there are other galactic happenings, both seen and unseen, which may be triggering a substantial Sun's new behavior. Now, the question is, just where is the heavenly body which may be careening towards our solar system at this very moment? Dr. Jerry Neugebauer, Bauer, IRAS Chief Scientist for California Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Director of the Palomar Observatory for California Institute of Technology, Caltech, rendered an account which ended up in Washington Post back in 1983. A heavenly body, possibly as large as a giant planet Jupiter, and possibly so close to Earth that it would be part of this solar system, has been found in the direction of the constellation Orion by an orbiting telescope aboard the U.S. infrared astronomical satellite, he says. Another noted astronomer, Dr. Robert Harrington, was convinced of the existence of Planet X because of the perturbations which may be in his field had observed on both Neptune and Uranus. Robert Sutton Harrington was an American astronomer who worked at the United States Naval Observatory, USNO. Harrington became a believer in the existence of Planet X beyond Pluto and undertook searches for it with positive results coming from the IRAD probe in 1983. Harrington collaborated initially with Tom Van Flanders, according to Wikipedia. When scientists noticed that Uranus was not following its predicted orbit, for example, they didn't question their theories. Instead, they blamed the anomalies on as an yet unseen planet, and sure enough, Neptune was discovered in 1846. Now astronomers are using the same strategy to explain quirks in the orbits of Uranus and Neptune. According to John Anderson of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, this odd behavior suggests that the Sun has an unseen companion, a dark star gravitationally bound to it billions of miles away. Other scientists suggest that the most likely cause of the orbital snag is the 10th planet, 4 to 7 billion miles beyond Neptune. A companion star would tug the outer planets, not just Uranus and Neptune, says Thomas Van Flanders of U.S. Naval Observatory, and where he admits a 10th planet is possible, but argues that it would have to be so big, at least the size of Uranus, that it should have been discovered by now. Does the Sun have a dark companion? What's causing the dramatic meteoric changes throughout the solar system? The planets, all of them, have been experiencing unparalleled dramatic transformation never seen or recorded before. Magnetic fields and brightness of the planets changing, the planets experiencing sizable increases in their overall luminosity. Venus, for example, is showing us marked elevations in its overall brightness. Jupiter has such a high energetic charge now that there is actually a visible tube of ionizing radiation that has formed between it and its moon. You can actually see the luminous energy tube in photographs that have been taken recently. In addition, the magnetic field strength of each planet has increased. Uranus and Neptune appear to have had recent pole shifts. When Voyager 2 space probe flew past Uranus and Neptune, the apparent north and south magnetic poles were sizably offset from where the rotational pole was. In one case, it was 50 degrees off, and in another case, the difference was around 40 degrees, both of which are, of course, pretty big changes. We've also seen tremendous amounts of differences on our planet Earth. Heat waves in Death Valley, Texas droughts, heat flown from Earth's mantle contributing to Greenland ice melt, North Pole melting leaves small lake at top of the world, weather radar shows storm of dust and bugs in Texas, snow plows needed in July, winter storms Nemo, monster Oklahoma tornadoes, El Reno tornado, New York City and DC facing power outages, Black Forest fires in the worst in Colorado history, typhoons, floods, chaos of floods, Australian wildfire fires, and more. It might be incoming. Comet Planet have hyperdimensional qualities. First, it's critical to understand that the physical nature behavior of this hypothetical comet planet could only be properly understood when viewed through the lens of the electric universe theory as well as plasma cosmology, being cognizant that the universe is comprised of plasma, ionized gases, which make up 99.999% of the visible universe, is the only way to correctly apprehend the unique characteristics of such a heavenly body. Now, there's very little room for either periodic catastrophism or comet planets within existing realm of astrophysics research institutions or their peer-reviewed scientific journals. Neither are rarely addressed with any seriousness for a reason that perhaps they have more to do with premeditated denial and purposeful obfuscation, as was previously discussed. And yet the whole subject matter is simply too radioactive for the establishment to take up in any factual, meaningful way, and so it seems it will remain until the end of the days. Hercolubus, an unusual event, is going to accelerate the process of swift change on the axis of the planet Earth. I'm referring to the planet Hercolubus, what we call Nibiru Planet X, Wormwood. This planet is 6 times bigger than the planet Jupiter. The planet Hercolubus belongs to the distant solar system of Tylo. The solar system of Tylo is rapidly approaching our solar system, and Hercolubus is rapidly approaching Earth. Modern astronomers have before their sight the planet Hercolubus, or as it's known by modern science, the Barnard Star. This planet is a powerful giant that will pass through an angle of our solar system, and when this happens, the revolution of the axis of our planet will accelerate violently. Then the final catastrophe will occur. Sometimes scientists believe that will be able to push this monstrous planet away with nuclear explosions, but this will be useless. It will be impossible to push this tremendous mass of a planet out of the way by mere nuclear bombs. The same planet brought Atlantis to the end. Before Atlantis existed, it annihilated the existence of another continent. We know very well that the continent of Mu or Lemuria sank within the waters of the boisterous Pacific Ocean after 10,000 years of earthquakes and incessant volcanic eruptions, said Samuel Anwar, the Aquarian Message. This is on Solask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.